What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com recapping the news. And before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, in this video, I have a lot to go over. But before I give you a rundown, just a heads up, I do know that the sneakers live stream took place today, and I'm recording the night before. So everything featured on that live stream I will be covering in a future sneaker news video, probably towards the end of the week. But I'm going to be honest with you. 90% of the stuff I've already leaked or talked about, and I already know that the individual is going to take shots right at the beginning at leakers. It's like the same playbook every live stream he does. But don't worry, I'll have more information and leaks that won't be covered in that live stream in the next video. But going back to this video, we have a first look at the packaging of the Air Jordan 11 Gamma, and it's different compared to the 2013 pair. Also, we have some more 2026 Air Jordan releases, including the Bloodline Air Jordan 12, yes, that's finally dropping, and the Air Jordan 11 Low University Blue, originally known as Columbia Blue. Now, there's a lot more from Jordan Brand in this video. As well, there's a lot of news from Nike. And now, let's jump into the news. I think it was in my last video when I talked about the Harris Tweed Nike Dunk Low. Now, there's 3 colorways dropping, but at that time, we only had photos of one pair. But now, the other 2 have leaked, and there's some additional details as well. First up, this entire collection is a women's exclusive that wasn't known prior to, and the retail price was initially said to be $140, but it's actually $135 each. So as for the 2 other pairs, one of the pairs we don't have a color description of, not the official colorway. However, this pair features a mismatched theme. On the left shoe, it has purple on the base, and then on the right shoe, it has purple on the overlays. Now, the second pair we do have the colorway for, which is Sesame and Baroque Brown. As you can see, this pair has shades of brown throughout. Probably my least favorite from the pack, but hey, maybe some of you might like them. Now, as for the release date, unfortunately, we don't have one for the 3, but they are expected to drop fall 2025, which means a release could take place anytime now. And like I mentioned, the retail price is $135 each. Official images popped up of the Nike Air Max Plus 7 Varsity Maize, and this gives us our first look at the shoe. Now, I talked about the return of this pair maybe a month or so ago, and this pair originally released in 2005, so the model is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and this is an OG colorway. However, compared to the images of the OG pair, it seems that the yellow used isn't as vibrant, but other than that, everything else is pretty much on point. Now, it does come with metallic silver on the base, which gradients to black when we get closer to the heel. And then around the toe, it kind of has like this drip pattern that I do like. Basically, it resembles a modified Air Max Plus, but again, it is part of the Air Max Plus series. Other details includes a white midsole, yellow within the Air Max unit, and a black rubber outsole. Now again, as for the release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but they are expected to drop fall 2025. And the thing I don't like about this pair is the retail price. And these are going to cost $185, which seems a bit steep in my opinion. Nike Basketball has unveiled Giannis Antetokounmpo's 7th signature shoe. Now, I always have a hard time pronouncing his last name, so if I mispronounce it any other times, I do apologize. But with this unveiling, they only showed off one colorway, but we've seen this colorway before, and there's a second one that we know of as well, so I'm going to show those as well. But I did want to read from their press release because it gives us all the information we need. Now, I'm not going to read everything, but I'm going to read the majority of it. So, it reads, Nike is introducing the Giannis Freak 7, a new silhouette built to power the performance of Giannis Antetokounmpo and the game's hardest working hoopers. The 7th entry in Giannis's Nike signature lineage is designed with a particular movement in mind, the most lethal Euro step in all of basketball. Starting with the traction needed to cut, start, stop, and Euro step at the highest level, Nike designers developed a new Antetokounmpo traction pattern. It features a more rigid feel on the lateral side of the silhouette and a smooth ride medially. helping Giannis and hoopers like him create critical separation and leave defenders in the dust. In a first for Nike basketball, this performance innovation pairs with a full-length, wall-to-wall Cushlon 3.0 midsole that delivers an accessible silhouette, the comfort and responsiveness required for hoopers who put in long hours to improve their game. Further, the midsole, outsole, and upper of the Giannis Freak 7 all feature mechanically engineered grooves that flex and compress, helping Giannis and other powerful hoopers effectively Eurostep around, through, and over the competition every time they hit the court. To help contain sharp cuts and effective Eurosteps, Nike designers created an upper inspired by both Giannis and Nike's heritage, reminiscent of Greek sandals that lock down the heel while helping contain the foot on both the medial and lateral sides. Giannis' surname is spelled out in the traction pattern, and the upper subtly incorporates his signature logo. The lead ignition colorway recalls the intensity Giannis channels when he steps onto the court, and every detail is designed to support his notorious work ethic, inspiring young hoopers to put in the work to advance their game. The Giannis Freak 7 also reflects Nike's unparalleled commitment to basketball, its athletes, and the culture of the game. Nike complements these footwear innovations with colorway stories, materials, and finishes that match the bold and confident energy that the next generation of hoopers brings to the court. By creating the best for the best, then delivering it to those who love the game the most, Nike is championing the players at the heart of basketball, powering the future of the game and fueling basketball culture, serving Giannis and his fellow All-Stars alongside the next generation of athletes and fans. Alright, so the first colorway, known as Ignition, which we have seen in the past, that pair features a total orange, hyper pink, light lemon twist, and black colorway. Now, as for the release date, they're scheduled to drop on July 29th. And the retail price is said to be $115, which I think is reasonable for a signature shoe. And these look pretty good in my opinion. Now, the second colorway is the Giannis Freak 7 Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Now, we don't have a specific release date for this one, but they are expected to drop in September. The official colorway is light khaki, vault, cavestone, alabaster, and barely vault. These are also going to retail at $115. Of course, we will get more colorways coming, but overall, let me know your thoughts on the Giannis Freak 7 down below. I'm not sure why, but Nike Basketball continues to reach back to models of LeBron James' signature line, and they're not too far back, and they're re-releasing them or bringing the model back. The colorways are a first to be released, for example, the LeBron 21, Prime 93, but they're also going to bring back the Nike LeBron 20, and one of those pairs is known as Pink Diamond. Now, I heard about this about 2-3 months ago. Somebody hit me up, shout out to them. They said, hey, I have this on my release calendar. It's a retail store, but I don't know anything about the shoe. So I reached out to multiple people and they didn't have the information. So I wasn't sure at that time about the pair. I didn't talk about it because overall it seemed a little bit odd that they were re-releasing the LeBron 20 when we're currently on the 22 and soon the 23. But that is the case. The Pink Diamond colorway will be released. Now, recently, Bronny James has been wearing the pair during the NBA Summer League, but prior to that, we saw a first look back in 2022 on the feet of LeBron James during the Drew League. I want to say this was the first colorway to leak of the LeBron 20. I could be wrong on that, but I do know when they leaked, a lot of people liked them. So the pair will feature a pink gaze and metallic silver colorway. Pretty much the shoe features all pink, and then we have some metallic silver detailing. Now, I do like the LeBron 20. I think they look great. This colorway is nice as well. So if you're a fan, they are going to drop on August 1st, and the retail price will be $210. I know a lot of people were hyped for the return of the Air Max 95 Neon, but the pair that I'm excited for is the Nike Air Max 95 Black Border. So I did talk about this in the last news video. We saw a first look at the 2025 pair. We only had the one image, but I believe over the weekend, official images leaked giving us a detailed look, and in my opinion, these look amazing. Now, the official colorway is white, hyper jade, black, and metallic silver, and what's so unique about this shoe is that they dropped in 1996 instead of 95. Some Air Max 95s did drop in 96. They're still considered an OG colorway, of course, but this will be the first time that Nike brings them back to retailers, which I have no idea why. They should have retroed these years ago. But yeah, they're known as black border due to the black on the overlays on the panels that wrap the shoes. Usually we see like a gradient on the panels, so something different. But what I also really like is the Hyper J detailing, which lands on the tongue, swoosh, and placed within the Air Max unit. Now, although we have the official photos, we don't have a release date. They are expected to drop fall 2025, which means a release will take place between July, so any time now, and September. Also, the retail price will be $190. We have another classic colorway of the Nike Air Max Uptempo 95 releasing, and this pair is known as Orlando Magic. Now, I always found it odd that this pair is known as Orlando Magic because to my recollection, I don't know of any players for the Magic who wore this pair back in 95. Yes, the color blocking does match up to the Orlando Magic uniform. Now, I do know that Kevin Garnett wore this shoe, this particular colorway as well, and he was playing for the Timberwolves, so I'm not sure why they're not called Timberwolves. Back in the day, about 15 years ago, there was images that surfaced of a pair worn by Kevin Garnett, and they were signed and they were available on eBay. Now, the last time this pair released was in 2019. So 6 years later, we're going to get the chance to buy again. And the pair features a simple yet clean color blocking. The official colorway is white, black, and photo blue. They come with white leather on the upper, black nubuck on the mudguard, and then blue lance on the swoosh logos and pull tabs. Now, as for the release date, this pair will drop on August 7th, and the retail price will be $170. As most of you know, Caitlin Clark will drop another Nike Kobe shoe, and this will be the Kobe 6 Protro, known as Light Armory Blue. Now, prior to this, we knew the information, but the pair that we saw was on the feet of Caitlin Clark. So it was assumed it would be that pair, but this is our first in-hand look at the retail release. Now, from what I can tell, there are no differences between Caitlin Clark's PE and the retail pair. They're known as Light Armory Blue due to the colorway, which is Light Armory Blue, White, and Baltic Blue. I like these better than the Kobe 5 Protro Indiana Fever, which just dropped. That shade of blue on the swoosh and the Kobe Shield logo is really nice. Now, once again, from these photos, it appears that there is no Caitlin Clark branding, but at the least, Nike is calling them Caitlin Clark. I was wondering if they were going to do that with the Kobe 5, and they did, and those sold out, of course. And I expect the same for this pair. They're going to sell out as well. Now, for the release info, this pair is currently scheduled to be released on October 1st, and the retail price will be $200. As most of you know, Arts Rec has a collaboration dropping on the Nike SB Air Trainer 1 and the Nike SB Dunk Low. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about both, but we just received a first look at the Nike SB Air Trainer 1. So we have a handful of images to showcase the shoe. As well, we have release details for both. Now, it's been a minute since we've seen the Nike SB Air Trainer 1 be released, and this was a model that I really liked that was added to the SB line. But for their collaboration, it comes dressed in limestone, pink quartz, earth, dusty peach, black, and desert sand. Now again, it kind of takes the outdoors, or I should say safari theme. We have a safari kind of cheetah print inspired print that wraps the toe and heel. The midfoot strap, on the right shoe it reads Arts, and the left it reads Rec. We have a hairy suede on the swoosh, as well as the lateral side. And since we only have a handful of images, I'm not sure if there's other smaller details like the SB Dunk Low. So maybe if and when official images leak, we'll get to see off the smaller details. Now, for this pair, they're going to be released at Arts Rec on July 18th, and the retail price is $160. Now, I'm hearing that other skate shops will have them on the same day, but my local spot hasn't posted about them yet, but that doesn't mean anything because they're typically late for stuff like this. And it isn't confirmed if this pair is going to drop on the Sneakers app, but more than likely they will. But of course, it will be after the July 18th release date. Now, the second pair I'm going to talk about in collaboration with Arts Rec is the Nike SB Dunk Low. Now, we've seen this pair before. This isn't a first look, but more importantly, we have release details. Now, what's unique about this shoe is that you could see more of the branding. For example, we have Arts and Rec on the heel. We also have phrases like, please do not tap on the glass, and please do not feed the animals. The outsole is translucent, but it reads Arts Recreation San Diego, California. For those who don't know, they are from San Diego. And then on the inside of the tongue, we have a safari hat. A lot of people are calling it a UFO. I don't know where that got started from, but a UFO doesn't even fit the theme of this shoe. Anyways, these are dope. This is going to be a birthday pickup for me because my birthday's on the 15th, and these are dropping on July 18th. Now, these will be available first at Arts Rec, and I'm sure that they're going to drop on the Sneakers app, but I'm not sure when. Of course, it will be after the July 18th release date, and the retail price will be $140. All right, so we have new photos of the Nardwuar Nike SB Dunk Low. Now, with these photos, it shows off some additional details. Now, something that's different on what I was told about versus what's releasing, so the sample versus the retail pair, is his catchphrase. So I was initially told that it would be on the insoles, but it's actually on the outsoles. The outsole also has a dark blue translucent tint to it. Now, I'm not sure if my eyes are messed up, but it looks like there's like this, I don't know the word to describe it, a pom-pom on the laces. Now, of course, that is inspired by Nardwuar's hat. At the very top of it, it has something like that. And then the pattern on the upper is the same pattern used on his hat. Now, they also come with 5 laces. They're laced up in black, but they also have green, yellow, blue, and red. That's pretty dope as well. Now, the insoles, it'll say Nardwuar. It'll have a picture of Nardwuar, his face. And underneath, it has his branding, the human serviette. I like these a lot. But I also think I like them because I'm a fan of Nardwuar. And of course, if you're a fan of somebody and you like the work that they do, and they drop a pair of sneakers, you're kind of going to lean toward them. Now, I have seen people disliking the shoes. I'm not sure if they're fans of Nardwuar or they just don't like them. But either way, I think they're dope. Now, one other element about the shoe we can't 100% see. It also looks like his catchphrase will be on the heel. You can kind of see it in the background of the main image used. It's a little blurry, but as for the release date, this pair is expected to drop holiday 2025. So that means the release will take place sometime between October and December. And the retail price, instead of $135, they have bumped up to $140. Moving on to Jordan Brand, and official photos popped up of the Who Decides War Jordan Flight Court in coconut milk. Now, we received a first look back in 2024, and since then, no images leaked. But just the other day, we received the official photos, so it gives us a detailed look. Now, the official colorway is coconut milk, varsity red, muslin, and off noir. Now, the pair comes with unique stitching on the toe box and ankle, and it also comes with hairy suede on the mudguard. We have the Jumpman branding on the tongues, but on the insoles, we also have the Jumpman branding, but it has the Who Decides War bullet logo. That's also placed on the heels, but the bullet is behind the heel tab, which is translucent. Now, the pair also comes with an aged midsole, and the outsole features mostly black. We have red accents, as well as a milky translucent finish. Now, the best part about this shoe, in my opinion, is the packaging. One more thing, on the inside of the tongue, it reads, "The world is your court." Now, the best part about this shoe, because I'm not a fan of the model whatsoever, is the packaging. The packaging is pretty dope. I'll make sure to include an image of that. But I remember that this was the first Jordan Flight Court to leak. Well, not this colorway, but the Who Decides War collaboration. And everybody was talking about how great the shoe was and, super hyped about them. And I do believe GR colorways have released already, and those are just sitting. But for the release info, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date at the time of recording, but they are expected to drop fall 2025, which means a release will take place between July and September. Also, the retail price will be $115. We have a new lifestyle model dropping from Jordan Brand, and the pair is known as the Jordan Trunner OS, and this particular colorway is known as Archaeo Brown. Now, the official colorway is Archaeo Brown, Persian Violet, Earth, and Aluminum. Now, it does take some DNA from the Jordan Trunner LX, which is a shoe that was first introduced in the early 2000s. And we are seeing some colorways return this year. But the OS version, it's more beefy. and it kind of reminds me of like a hiking boot. The rope laces, the chunky midsole. They also feature a TPU overlay that connects into the lacing system. And as for the materials used, we have suede and mesh. It also looks like they come with reflective accents. And on the heels, we have this tinted window with the Jumpman branding. These aren't bad. I do like the colorway. I would like to see additional colorways, but for the release date on this one, unfortunately, we don't have one, but again, expected to drop fall 2025. If I had to guess, probably in August or September, and the retail price will be $115. I had a feeling that the Air Jordan 1 High OG self-expression would get delayed, and the reason for that is we're getting close to the release date of July 12th. That was the initial release date. Well, let me take that back. Initially, they were supposed to drop on August 9th, but then they got pushed forward to July 12th, and official images haven't leaked, so I kind of thought the release would get delayed, and that's exactly what happened. So the new release date for this pair is July 31st. Now, recently, some images popped up showing the upper, which does wear away. And as you can see, once worn away, it features a couple shades of blue. We have purple, red, orange, yellow, and green. So it's going to have a unique look. And then it's being said that those colors will wear away as well. And underneath, it'll be all white. Now, again, I don't have confirmation on that, but that's what I initially heard months and months ago. So I am curious to see if somebody decides to wear off the colors and see if there is white underneath. Now, they also feature an aged midsole and a black rubber outsole. So as for the release date, again, they're dropping July 31st, and the retail price will be $185. Official images recently popped up of the Air Jordan 8 Aqua, and right off the bat, what I noticed about these official photos from Nike is that the gray used isn't as light as some of the pairs that we're seeing. Now, I'm not saying those pairs are fake. I do believe that the upper, the gray, is a lot lighter on what we'll get in hand versus the official photos. I think they did a great job on the lighting, made it look darker than it actually is. Still, it is light, but I would say that this is a bit closer to the OG because, yes, on the pair that initially dropped in 93, it did feature a lighter shade of gray, but it's not as light as we're seeing on other photos. I don't know, I find that a bit misleading by Nike. I haven't seen anybody really talking about the official images, saying it's not as light as some of the other photos that have been going around. But if you don't mind how light it is, it's a dope shoe for sure. I do feel that the updated shape on these makes them more appealing, at least to me. But I'm sure this is a way in 5 to 6 years for another release to happen. Jordan Brand will re-release them, make the shading of gray very close to the OG, and then we'll have white lines on the straps. On the edges, that is. But just to run down a little bit of history, they initially dropped in 1993. MJ wore them during the 93 NBA All-Star Games. So at one point in time, they were called All-Star. We also saw a retro release in 2007. And then the last time they dropped was in 2015. Now, these will be a GR, and they're scheduled to drop on July 19th. The retail price is $215. They're also dropping in grade school sizes for $160. Preschool will cost $100, and toddler sizes will cost $85. Official images also popped up on the Air Jordan 5 wings, giving us our best look yet. So the pair is a women's exclusive release, and it celebrates the 10th anniversary of the Jordan Wings program. So instead of the 23 on the lateral side, we have the number 10. The pair also comes with some unique details. For example, we have metallic silver on the upper, which is constructed of satin. They also come with a tassel. Embroidered around the right toe is "in this family," and then the left reads "no one flies alone." On the heels, we have the Jumpman and wings underneath, and on the inside of the tongue, we have the wings logo flipped upside down. Finishing the look is a milky translucent outsole, and then it has a handprint across it. Now, although we have the official images, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date. Again, expected to drop fall, so that means the release will take place between July and September, and the retail price is expected to be $215. You know what's weird is I've been enjoying all these images we're getting of the Air Jordan 4 Cavestone. Now, 2 reasons for that. 1, I like the colorway. I think it's really good. And 2, every set of images, the brown used, which is Cavestone, is different. We've seen this pair look like it was covered in gray. We've seen this pair covered in a very light shade of brown. and then just other various shades of brown. It's so weird to me. I understand that taking photos, it's difficult getting the lighting correct, but I almost feel like, at least for myself, I'll be surprised, or it'll be a surprise when I open the box and see what actual shade of brown it is, just because of all these different photos. But I will say I do like the shade used in these images. I've also liked them in quite a few others as well, but it's just odd that some of the first sets of images we saw, the coloring was just a drastic change. Now, some of the other things that I do like about the pair is that it features Nike Air branding on the heel, something that Jordan Brand is starting to add more to non-OG colorways. There was a time they would add that just to collabs, but now we're getting them on GR colorways, which I do like. Now, another thing I do like is the translucent heel tab. Well, it's somewhat translucent, as well as the outsole, which comes onto the midsole. Now, if the midsole on this shoe was all black, these would have been really, really nice in my opinion, but it kind of has a cell hue around the air unit, which isn't bad, but I think all black would have been really nice. Now, as for the release date, this pair will drop on September 6th, and the retail price will be $225. We got a little bit of a delay on the Air Jordan 5 Tokyo. It's not a huge release date delay, but they will drop on a different day, so it is news. But just to run down this pair, as most of you know, they initially dropped in 2011. The release was to celebrate the Jordan Tokyo 23 store opening in Japan. Now, the 2025 version is actually the sample pair of the 2011. So the difference is on the toe, we have yellow. A small change, I don't mind it, but it's not identical to the OG, which again is okay to me. Now, as for the release info, this pair was initially supposed to drop on September 27th, I believe, but the new release date is September 30th. So 3 days later, it's not a huge deal. And the retail price is said to be $210, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if the retail price was $215 or even $220. Now, another rumor that some of you may have heard is that only 20,000 pairs will be released. I don't have confirmation on that, so I can't confirm it. Also, I have heard rumors that there's a second pair dropping, but again, I don't have confirmation on that either. There could be a pair with Nike Air, but at this point, it's just a rumor, and I can't confirm it. But like always, I will have more information about this release soon. New images of the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Chicago popped up, and I like these photos. They're very clean. It gives us a look at all angles of the shoe, and this is a pair that I do plan on picking up when they drop in November. Now, these were initially supposed to drop on October 18th, which is known as Band Day, but they've been delayed, which is fine because there's so many months from now that they're dropping. Another month wouldn't hurt. And what's cool about the 2025 pair is that they will feature a larger swoosh. Now, the original release, which took place in 2016, also featured a larger swoosh. So it really isn't anything new on this colorway, but as of late, the Air Jordan 1 Low OG, the swoosh was much smaller. Now, although this is an OG colorway placed on the Air Jordan 1 High in 1985, the first time we saw it released was in 2016. But what I like about this, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well, there's no age detailing. We're just getting a straight Chicago Air Jordan 1. Yes, it's a low top. I'm sure most of us want a high, and I'm sure eventually we'll see that happen. Now, getting onto the release info, this pair is currently scheduled to drop on November 15th, and the retail price will be $145. Okay, so we're moving on to some upcoming 2026 releases, and the Air Jordan 12 Bloodline will be released in summer 2026. Now, this pair might look familiar to some of you. Matter of fact, it might look familiar to a lot of you. So this is the original mock-up that Z and I put out in 2024, and the pair was initially supposed to drop in January 2025. However, as some of you may know, this pair was scrapped, and instead we got the Air Jordan 12 Flu Game. Technically, the Air Jordan 12 Flu Game was scrapped, then these were supposed to release, and then they were scrapped, and then we got the Flu Game Air Jordan 12, which that whole thing was really weird. Now, a lot of people are associating the Bloodline nickname to a wrestler. I forget his name. I don't watch wrestling. I didn't grow up watching it. I know there's a lot of people who watch this channel are big fans of wrestling, so somebody will tell me who it is in the comment section. I think it's Roman something, Roman Reigns. I could be wrong on that, but no, there is no connection to him. The Bloodline series actually started in 2015, and it started on the Air Jordan 29. And then we saw it on the Air Jordan 1 High OG, known as Bloodline, in 2019. There's also some Lukas that dropped, known as Bloodline, but for this pair, it features a simple black and varsity red colorway. Now, one thing that has changed, which won't affect the outcome of the shoe, is the style code. It has slightly changed. But other than that, the pair will feature black throughout, as well as red on the eyelets, the heel, and the plates on the side. You know, when they scrapped these and announced that they would actually release the flu game Air Jordan 12, I was pretty happy, and I know a lot of people were as well, but I noticed there was quite a few people disappointed. They wanted this shoe, and people were talking about it online, and I'm not sure if that influenced Jordan Brand to say, hey, we'll actually release them. And if that is the case, then how about release the Air Jordan 5 Black Cat, exactly like the mock-up that Z and I put out. A lot of people will be happy about that, I guarantee it. But as for the release date, we don't have one. Summer 2026 is when they're expected to drop, so that means a release will take place between April and June, and the retail price has gone up $5, so that means they're going to cost $205. We have another classic pair releasing in 2026, and it's the Air Jordan 11 Low University Blue, aka UNC. Now, initially, this pair was known as Columbia Blue. They've dropped 2 times before. The first time was in 2001, and then the last time they dropped was in 2017. Now, recently, I saw a post on Instagram, and it was an individual, I forgot his name, and I forgot who he DM'd, but it was somebody at Jordan Brand, and he talked about the Columbia Blue nickname, and they can't use it because of trademark reasons. I know that was a thing that was being debated with the whole Air Jordan 11 Legend Blue, how the name changed. But yes, this pair is now being called University Blue. Now, the images used is the 2017 release. However, the blocking will look like this. The overall shape will be updated to reflect the new mold. And back in 2001, that was the first time that the Air Jordan 11 Low was released. Prior to that, we saw the IE, and in 2001, there was a ton of colorways available. I do like this colorway. I don't own the 2017, nor do I own the 2011. I wasn't a huge fan of the Air Jordan 11 Low. They've grown on me a lot more. So depending on what releases around the time these drop, I potentially could pick them up, but they are a dope summer shoe. I believe I did a review on the 2017 pair, which is crazy. But as for the release info, these are going to drop summer 2026, which again means the release will take place between April and June. Also, the retail price will be $195. New photos have leaked of the Air Jordan 11 Gamma, also known as Gamma Blue. Now, these photos are really nice, but one thing I will say is that we have a first look at the packaging. So some of you may remember back when these initially dropped, well, actually Air Jordan 11s around this time frame, the packaging was really annoying. I'm sure some of you may have liked it, but I sure didn't. Now you guys might remember it had this tab you had to pull up, then you had to pull the shoes out, and then it had this plastic insert. You took that out, and then you got to the shoes. Well, that isn't going to be the case for the 2025 pair. Now, I'm not sure why, but the individual who took these photos, again, the photos are really nice, but they're 2 background images of the box, so you can't 100% see it. But the packaging isn't like the OG, it's a new version, and the lid looks like it doesn't completely come off. It looks like it's attached in the back. And then, of course, it comes in all black. We have Gamma Blue on the Jumpman 23, the rimming on the hole on the side, and then the Jumpman on top of the lid. Now, it kind of looks like there's some sort of design also on the lid, but that could just be the glare. I'm not entirely sure. But would have helped this if the individual who took the photos actually took images of the box as well, because a lot of people were asking about that. But either way, we can enjoy these new images. As you can see, the overall look does resemble the OG release, which dropped in 2013, but we do have a higher cut patent leather. I remember when it was announced that Jordan Brand would start using higher cut patent leather on the Jordan 11, and so many people were upset. Even though it reflected the OG mold, a lot of people grew accustomed to the lower cut patent leather. Nowadays, I don't hear anybody talking about it. And when I do talk about that, the higher cut patent leather, and compare it to the lower cut, most people I've seen say they like the higher cut. So maybe everybody got adjusted to it. I don't know, but it would be interesting to see Jordan Brand go back to the low cut patent leather, at least on the pairs that initially dropped with low cut patent leather. If and when they bring back the Concord Air Jordan 11, I wouldn't want to see that with lower cut patent leather. That should stay high cut since it's an OG colorway, but something like this, I could see the reason why, but I, again, prefer the higher cut patent leather. Even though I own the 2013 pair, I do plan on buying these because I like the overall shape. I think they look good. And I don't even know if I can wear the 2013 anymore. I think there's a possibility that the outsole will start separating. I know on my 2012 Air Jordan 11 Bread, the sole has separated, so I can't wear those anymore. But overall, these are really nice. Now, I don't know if people are starting to talk about it being limited or not. I haven't been looking around, but if they do, call them crazy, because that is going to be the case with these. This will be a Mash GR, pretty easy to obtain. Even though there's a lot of hype and people are excited, Jordan Brand will make enough pairs to go around. Now, at the time of recording, the release date is December 13th, and the retail price is $230, although that could go up $5 or $10. Also, these are expected to drop in full family sizing. I just don't have the retail price breakdown as of yet. But let me know your thoughts on the Air Jordan 11 Gamma. Do you plan on picking them up when they drop in December? And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Now, I do plan on dropping one more video this week. I'm unsure of what it will be. It could be another news video because I do believe with the sneakers live stream, I'll have enough news. And I'm waiting on some very big information, so I kind of wanted to put that all together in a news video. But if I don't get the information cleared, then I'm going to introduce a new series on the channel, something I'll do once a month. And I don't want to give too much away because I might not drop it this week. It could be next week. But it does have to do with a lot of questions I get asked. It might be on different shoes, but it's typically the same question. I think it's useful. It'll be the first one. If it does well and people enjoy it, then I'll continue to do it each month. But if people aren't feeling it, then that's okay too. But for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave those down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.